Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Welcome to Game Day Live, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio virtual studios here in beautiful New Jersey, and somewhere in some bunker location out in Illinois, out in the Midwest. I don't even know where you are, Vinnie, but it doesn't matter because it's Devils Avalanche playing tonight, just about 45 minutes from now. We're streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here, Vinnie Parise of pucksandpitchforks.com. We go back to a place where Ryan Graves started to make his mark in the NHL. We went to going back to a place where in 2001, I still believe the league rigged it for Ray Bourque. Devils Avalanche. And it should be a good game. I think the Avalanche want to avenge for that 5 unanswered goals about a month ago when the Devils came back down 3-0. But these New Jersey Devils are playing, or should I say, these New Jersey Comets don't know any better, as the Devils are on a 2-game winning streak right now on the road.
Yeah, sometimes when you get to the road, you play better, you feel better, you're not distracted by the things that distract you at home. There's all sorts of things that could go into why a team is better on the road or better at home or on a streak on the road or on a streak at home. But, the Colorado Avalanche, man, they are unbelievable when it comes to one of the all-time great NHL teams, in my opinion. The Devils beat them already once this year in their first meeting, and they erased a 3-0 deficit in order to do so. And that's the first time Colorado had done that in like 2 years. And it was probably, I would say, when we look back at this season when it's over, we'll say that was the big win of the season. That was the moment where that was the best moment of the season for the Devils, for me at least. But you look at that and you're like, Colorado's not going to want that to happen again, right? They don't want to lose to the Devils twice. It's a scary situation as a Devils fan. And another thing that they do kind of have going in their favor, though, is they played last night, Colorado. And not only did they play, they absolutely dismantled a pretty good Los Angeles Kings team that's going to go to the playoffs themselves. So it's hard to preview a game like this knowing what Colorado has the potential to do here. I'm not saying it's going to be a repeat of the Boston Bruins game, let's say, but I'm not certain it's going to go particularly awesome for the Devils with all the pieces that they're missing from their lineup. But hey, this team has shown a little bit here in the last couple days. They beat the Coyotes, who, they should beat the Coyotes. The Stars win was rather impressive, in my opinion. Nico Hischier really put the team on his back in both games, really, but in the Stars game for sure. I'm excited, though, because even though there's a chance that the Devils lose and get dismantled and whatnot, it's a chance for them to see, whoa, that's what you need to do in order to win the Stanley Cup. That's how good you need to be in order to be a President's Trophy contender. The Devils have beaten Florida and Colorado this season, and Carolina. And if I remember correctly, they've beaten all three of them in interesting ways that make you think. And those are the 3 true contenders for the President's Trophy. So I'm not saying the Devils, they stink. They're a bad team. But they're a bad team that has pieces that can make things interesting from time to time, or it could just go south like the Bruins game. So when I go to evaluate a game like this, I always get a little weary, which Devils team is going to show up, because I think that's extremely important in whatever happens with the outcome.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Vinny, because it's like in football, it's any given Sunday. This team is not a one-trick pony when it comes to beating elite teams this year. Tampa Bay Lightning coming back from that game back in November. They've beaten Colorado. And they've beaten some pretty good teams along the way. It's just a matter of consistency. Defensively, they need to improve on. Goaltending, they need to improve on. And I think they have in the last 2 games. I think, they could do a better job defensively, but they're getting outstanding goaltending at this point from Nico Dawes. And I thought I saw something out on Twitter. I'm going to look right now. I think it was Pucks and Pitchforks Twitter account, if I'm not mistaken. I think at Pitchfork Puck. I thought I saw something there very, very interesting. Oh, from at Pitchfork Puck. Late night observation. Nico Dawes has more NHL games played than all of the other players from the 2020 NHL draft in rounds 2 to 7 combined. 6 players have played 22 games played from rounds 2 to 7 from 2020 draft. Dawes has 24. Isn't that interesting?
Wow. So you think you got the first round, Lafreniere, Stützle, Holtz, Mercer, Byfield. The second round, that's interesting. I never even that tweet slipped
And that
me
was
today. I haven't
allegedly
seen
a
that.
deep draft. That's allegedly a
Yeah,
deep draft.
no doubt.
2020.
No doubt.
And Nico Dawes has 24.
Yeah. Do I love that Nico Dawes has that many NHL games played? Well, I might like it 3 years from now if it proves to be good for him, but that does mean bad things for the Devils. Like if you would have told me in October, hey, Nico Dawes is going to have 24 starts by the end of the season. He's going to be right there with the team leader in terms of all the goalie stats. I'd be like, well, now I know for sure this team was bad again. The thing a lot of people don't realize, people have turned on Mackenzie Blackwood. I haven't, but a lot of people have. Nico Dawes just tied Blackwood in wins, and Blackwood hasn't played in eons. So let's halt the brakes on hating Blackwood. I know he's got a long way to recovery and getting to himself to a good status again, but that's impressive for Nico Dawes. I'm happy for him being one of the top players from rounds 2 through 7. So that's 2 out of the last 5 drafts where the Devils have the best player from rounds 2 through 7. You can argue, okay, Jesper Bratt might be the second best from his draft, rounds 2 through 7. Alex DeBrincat is right there. I might take DeBrincat over Bratt, but it's close, actually. So who knows? Having a top 3 player from rounds 2 through 7 in the last 5 drafts, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. And switching gears, because, a lot of this is future talk. Did you happen to catch State of the Fan address last night at all?
State of the Fan address last night? No, what did I miss?
Well, it was our guest said something very, very interesting. I just want to make sure that I don't mutilate how to pronounce her name. Give me 1 second here. I just got to pull it up because Nick last night, with a little behind the scenes stuff, we practice how to pronounce names before we call them just to make sure so we don't embarrass ourselves. But let me just look this up real quick here as looking for Joshvina Shah covers college hockey, college hockey news, saying something to the effect of there's an issue with the Michigan coach and players are bailing, either going to the NHL. You could have the transfer portal option. And where does that leave Luke Hughes? I guess there's, I didn't read too much into it, but could Luke Hughes make the jump to New Jersey with the professional contract? Or would he stay at Michigan, which would be by default, you would think? Or with the situation going on with the Michigan coach, Now, again, I'm just based on one guess that covers college hockey, and I didn't do my due diligence, but that could be very interesting if that expedites Luke Hughes coming to the Devils organization.
Yeah, personally, I hope it doesn't because I don't think he. Yeah, he could play in the NHL next year. I think he'd fit in just fine. But I think one more year just absolutely dominating college hockey even more than he did this year. I mean, he's a freshman that's nominated for the Hobey Baker. That's like extremely rare.
Yeah.
And he was the co-freshman of the year. And that Michigan team was stacked. There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
Owen Power, Buffalo Sabres. Matt Beniers, Seattle Kraken. Kent Johnson, Columbus Blue Jackets. Luke Hughes, New Jersey Devils. That team's not going to be as stacked next year. Kent Johnson's probably going to play for the Blue Jackets next year. Owen Power already made his NHL debut with the Sabres. Matt Beniers already made his NHL debut with the Kraken. So I'm not sure the team will be quite the same. I'm sure it'll be really good still, and Luke Hughes will be a big part of it if he stays. But him leaving that team wouldn't hurt me now as much as it would going into this season when it was as stacked as it was. Um,
Yeah.
he probably is too good for the AHL. The AHL is better than college hockey, so I don't even know why I'm thinking that. But it'll be interesting to see how they handle Luke Hughes if that becomes a reality. But in a perfect world, things would get settled and he would have one more year in the NCAA.
Yeah. And again, college hockey is different than professional hockey. And, Michigan is always on the cream of the crop. And it's good that he is on an elite team. But you also have to look at the competition that they would face. And I think especially with guys that play defense, it's always better to let them maturate and let them grow at their pace versus rushing them up to the NHL. That's just my opinion.
Yes, and I completely agree with you. I feel the same way. Um, I would totally, I would totally want him to play one more year because he's a defenseman. Forward's a little different, and I know Quinn only played 1 year at Michigan, but I think Quinn was a little more developed in terms of physically. But as a hockey player, I'm not too sure. So, like I said, in a perfect world, he'll play college hockey one more year. But, if I'd also rather him come to the NHL, though, and have a learning curve a little early than play in a toxic Michigan environment where
Yeah.
hockey's not fun to him. So that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, and Nick Villano wrote a great piece on pucksandpitchforks.com about it. Read all about it. The title is Could Michigan Hockey's head coaching decision impact Luke Hughes? That's all it is.
Yeah.
And you heard it here. You heard it here on the State of the Fan address.
Yeah.
And that's very
There you
interesting.
go.
That's
That is
very
very
interesting.
interesting. I'm very intrigued on what happens with that situation going forward.
So that's why you shouldn't miss an episode. I'm telling you
No,
now, this podcast, there could be a big reveal. You just never know when it happens.
absolutely. That's good stuff. State of the Fan address is outstanding. I'm going to have to go back and listen to her assessment on college hockey as a whole. I'm excited to hear that and kind of dive deep into what's going on with Michigan here. I'm
And by the
curious now.
way, just to let people behind the scenes, a look behind the scenes, we're also in the middle of start of baseball season. So kind of the mindset changes. In years past, it used to be, all right, I'm not going to even think about watching the Mets till the Devil season's over. But the last 8 years, I don't think this team, didn't really last too long.
Yeah.
Their season, no extended play. I mean, we sort of got a feeling of it because the environment, but because of COVID, a lot of things got pushed back. So even though there were regular season games going on in May, it felt like we were in the playoffs, but we really weren't.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anytime you're wearing
Hey,
shorts and you're still watching hockey.
yeah, that's always nice. The last time we experienced that was 2012, 2018. They didn't last very long in the playoffs. The Mets have been in the World Series more recently than the last time the Devils won a playoff series.
And that's
So
bad.
that is bad. But the Devils have won 3 playoff series since the last time the Yankees were in the World Series. So that's not bad.
When was the last time the Yankees were in the World Series? Was it
It had to
2009?
be '09 when they won it. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. So the
Tough.
Devils have
You
won
hate to
more
see that.
playoff games. The Devils, wow, this gives me a lot of ammunition for trash talk because I got a Yankee fan friend that just is relentless. And he tells me that Stephen Cohen is a bad man and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah,
Every owner's a bad man.
yeah. And I
Think
tell him, well,
about
your
it.
owner's too cheap to pay Aaron Judge because there's a new sheriff in town.
It's
Anyway,
2022 and they're still not allowed to have a beard. So who are they talking about?
yeah, yeah. Anyway, um, just gonna take a peek at Amanda Stein's Twitter account. This is what we do here on
No,
Game Day Live.
we're still live here on Game Day Live, so of course nothing new about the Devils is going to come out. You can assume that Nico Dawes is going to be in net. Of course, there are the injuries. It was nice to see last Kevin Ball scored his first career NHL goal against the team that drafted him and then traded him away for Taylor Hall. I was kind of hoping Mercer would get one too, because then Mercer and Ball, who were both acquired, while the pick for Mercer was acquired in the Hall
Mm-hmm.
trade, and both of them scoring against the Coyotes would have been kind of funny. But um, it was nice to see Fabian Zetterlund get that first career NHL goal too. So
Yeah.
it was a
So
good
what do you
it was a
think
good
about that
day.
kid? What do you think about
I'm
that kid?
intrigued. I'm intrigued. I think there's something there. I'm not positive that he's going to turn out to be a full-time NHL player, but getting your first career NHL goal out of the way, that's something that 99% of the world only wishes they can do. Um, it'll be weird to see if he's able to keep it going, but in a, I'm trying to think, does he like fit a bottom six role, a top six role? The middle six, I think, is probably more suitable for him if you think about his long-term projection if he were to make it in the NHL long term. But hey, keep giving these kids chances, and the ones that take it deserve to stay, and the ones that flounder, it's not for them. If the Devils ever want to get better, they need to see what they got from everyone and get rid of the people that can't contribute at this high of a level.
I'll tell you what. The Comets' blood on this team with Nico Dawes, you got Zetterlund probably in the lineup tonight. You can add Ball in there, Greer. It seems like they have that winning mindset, and they just do their jobs the best that they could. It almost seems like they are, because of that, they know how to win, and I think that's part of the reason why the team is 2-0 on this 5-game stretch. Which honestly, I didn't think that they were going to actually win one game in April. I really didn't. I was like, all right, well, Jack Hughes is out. Miles Wood is now back out. VC's gone. Lane Doug.
Siegenthaler.
Yeah, Siegenthaler. And, mailing it in. It's been impressive. And the fact that they are in position for the next 3 nights, the next 3 games to go above 500 on this Western swing, which they rank one of the worst road teams in the league. It's pretty impressive. Now, what's going to save Lindy Ruff's job is if they continue the effort that they have right now. He has not lost a team. You would have thought that he lost a team 2 games ago, going into this road trip, but they seem to respond and they seem to get it going again. But again, I'm trying to find a positive out of a really bad season, but I think Nico Hischier right now he's a monster right now playing, and he's doing it and he's doing it each game right now. That now it's his turn now that Jack is gone again.
Nico Hischier has more points per game since the All-Star break than Nikita Kucherov in less average time on ice.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's good news to leave people with.
Yeah. Yeah, good individual effort. And let's see the key thing we want to see tonight. I don't care about the win or loss scenario. How many goals will the Devils give up? The goals against? Because I think right now we know that they can score. But right now I got to see some semblance of good defense. I need to see great goaltending combined together.
Yeah. It's going to be hard with Colorado. It's going to be hard for Colorado. I know wins and losses don't matter. I have them losing 5-4 today. If they can put up 4 against Colorado, I'll be cool with it. But we need to see the defense get better. I'm just not sure that tonight's the night that it happens. I mean, this team dropped 9 on the Kings, who are significantly better than the Devils. So it's tough.
Well, you never know. You never know. I'm gonna. It's gonna be thin air. It's gonna be thin ice. I'm gonna one up you. 6-4 Devils.
Let's go.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be, and it's gonna be Ryan Graves with the empty net goal.
Very good. I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah. And then 20 minutes later, woo! I hate your predictions. Stop predicting. The team sucks when they're down 3-0.
Yeah. We'll be.
See, I go for the high-scoring games now. Predictions. You know why? Because when the Devils are down 4-0, it's like, well, we still have a chance. They just got to score 5 straight.
Yeah, easy. 5 straight against the Avalanche.
Yeah.
Team with 110 points.
Well, Vinnie, I'm going to hit the music. It's good seeing you again. We should keep in touch. Just remember, Devils After Dark after the game on the brutal stretch for the people on the East Coast. Scotty's just finishing dinner when we do Devils After Dark practically.
That's funny. That's hilarious. Yeah, time zones are weird, but, it's fun sometimes with the late games. During the week, it's a little harder than if they were on the weekend, but, it is what it is. Got to accommodate those road teams, too.
Yeah. Want to thank all those tuning in, dropping the podcast in about half an hour, but you'll be watching the game anyway. But you can listen to a replay on your commute to work. Devils After Dark. Game Day Live. Until next time, let's go Devils.